Crew, Paul Dvorsky, Gord Brosseker, and Dan McCourt. The Avs won Game 1, 6-0. Forsberg was the hero with a couple of goals, and it was all but over after the first period.
Yeah, the Avalanche came out strong. You know, in the dressing room for both clubs, they're talking about having it for the Avalanche exactly the same kind of period. You may not score 4 goals, but get involved early.
Our opening draw is brought to you by Miller Lite. Forsberg is on for the Avalanche at center here between Kamensky and Deadmarsh. Forsberg trying to clear it out, knocked down at center by Tony Amani. Amani centering for Krivokrasov. And Craven now foot hits the Hawk line. A drop pass, and that was broken up by Chicago. And they will dump it down the ice, and Patrick Waugh fires it around the boards, and it trickles to center. Chris Chelios now for Keith Carney, and he'll dump it in, and the Blackhawks make an early change after just 35 seconds. Here's a pass by foot into the captain Sakic. Fresh shot, and that was blocked at the Hawk defense. Lemieux gets it, and he partially fanned on that one. And the Blackhawks to center. Chelios, a bouncer. Waugh, the save. And the fake clears it to the rebound. Or the rebound to the corner. Chance gets it back now. Slop shot, and that hit Aaron Miller in the back. Another chance, and Moreau put it wide. Lefebvre trying to clear it. Jones on the far boards. Jones with Sakic and Lemieux.
Well, good start for the Blackhawks. They've gotten the puck in deep, and they've gotten the control of it with some good forechecking, playing the body, but skating well. So, I mean, it's very, very early, obviously, but the Blackhawks tonight will have to play like this if they hope to stay in the game.
Here's Lemieux dumping a bouncer into the Hawk zone, and that's an offside.
John, something very interesting happened right off the bat. Let's look at their goaltenders first. In tonight's game, Jeff Hackett comes back into goal. He was chased after 5 goals. It was scored late in the second period. He's back tonight for Patrick Waugh. This could be a big night. He could have his 88th career playoff win. That would tie Billy Smith for the all-time high.
And Patrick came into the game with a shutout streak over 213 minutes. No goals in his last 213 minutes of playoff hockey.
We go back to Game 3, first period against Florida. The last time that he was scored on.
Here's Klempert on defense with Ozolinsh. Gary Suter knocks it down for Chicago. Now for Probert. On with Cummings. Brent Sutter. And that play is offside.
John, something interesting happened right off the top. Before the whistle was even dropped, I looked at the Avalanche, and on the ice for the Avalanche was a starting lineup: Kamensky, Deadmarsh, and Forsberg, but they had Gusarov and Keane on the ice. Someone circled Keane's name, not Foot, 25 instead of 52. So the Avalanche fortunately caught it, because if they had started Foot and not Keane, it would have been a bench minor. So good work by the Avalanche to catch that.
Or someone wrote down 25 instead of 52.
Exactly. They got it reversed, and but they were smart enough to catch it.
Here's a giveaway. Corbeil had it bounce over his stick. Kept in by Sakic. And Hackett left it. Oh, big hit on Michael Sikora behind the goal. Sikora did not play in Game 1. Is in for Enrico Ciccone. Here's Probert. Long slapper. And a save by Waugh. Clem controls the rebound. Again, the Hawks make a quick change. And Corbeil sends a long one in deep.
Something to watch for, John, early. Twice the Blackhawks have been coming up the ice. Both times they've shot the puck directly in on Patrick Waugh. They're not dumping it around, so Patrick can get hold of it and move it to his wingers. They're putting it on Patrick about a foot high so that he is just able to take the shot, and he's not able to roam and move the puck up the ice.
And obviously hoping for a rebound, although Patrick can handle the dump in a way that could be easier for Waugh. We'll see. Here's a steal in deep. Forsberg tried to sweep it in front, but the Blackhawks play it down the ice. And no icing here. 16:45 to play first period. No score. Now Deadmarsh. Hawks back in. A 4-on-3 break. To Kamensky. He'll walk in. To Deadmarsh. Missed a wide open net. Unbelievable. Oh, what a chance shoot at it, missed it. And now Foote walks into the corner for Peter Forsberg. Now Forsberg on the boards, bumped by Craven. And it goes to Krivokrasov. Stolen at center. Forsberg back in, now to Mike Keane. First shot, he scores! Mike Keane again has scored the first goal.
Well, we talked about the first goal, how big it was. And Keane comes out and gives the Avalanche, for the second straight game, the first goal of the game. And this one, Keane does a good job. You see how far the defenseman backed in. He got caught flat-footed when Forsberg made his play at the blue line. And you see the defenseman backing in, and that's where Keane was able to use him as a screen to the 5-hole. Avalanche 1-0.
No, Mike Keane did not end the regular season on a hot scoring streak, to say the least. He had scored only 1 goal in 22 games, but he has now scored goals in 2 straight games. And the Avalanche have a 1-0 lead. Now Ricci behind the goal, right through the goal crease. No one was home. And the Blackhawks start back to center. Jeff Shantz, number 11, in with the rookie Morrow. And the Avs tip it away. The goal came at 3:53. Keane from Forsberg. Here are the Avs again. And a shot by Keane was wide and off the backboards. It came in front. And now the Hawks tip it to the Avs line.
Talking to hockey people that were watching the game, they said that one of the things the Avalanche did so well, the transition game. Not too many passes, just one pass up the ice into the zone. They were constantly in motion forward.
Oh, there's a hit at center. Ozolinsh went down for a moment, but he's back up. And the Hawks shoot it in deep wall around the boards. Now to Jones, on to Sakic. The Avs up 1-0. Sakic stops to make a play. Here's Ozolinsh. He scores! And it's 2-0 for the Avalanche.
Well, we were worried about Ozolinsh on the hit by Weinrich, but he just jumped into the play. There's a scary moment there for the Avalanche. Watch and see in front of that, but the Avalanche driving towards the net. There's the shot. It may have been tipped by Claude Lemieux. But either way, the one thing, it was not, he was certainly not in the blue, and the goal is going to count. It will be Ozolinsh or Lemieux, but suddenly the Avalanche up 2-0 in this hockey game. And you have to know from the Blackhawks, who have sat around yesterday, they talked about it, they had a morning skate today, they were talking about getting out of this first period even, and now right off the bat, just over 5 minutes gone, they're down 2-0. And again, John, we're in a situation with the Blackhawks who don't score a lot of goals. This early in the game, the next goal could determine whether we have ourselves a hockey game or not.
Ozolinsh gets the goal, his second from Sakic and Jones at 5:06. Now the Hawks, Krivokrasov to the corner, in the slot, and Amani fanned on it. Avs trying to work it up the far wing. Now Craven, number 32. Craven back of that goal. He really struggled in game 1. He was -3 for Chicago.
Along with Tony Amani, and those are their top players. They have got to be sharp in this game.
So it's 2-0 for the Avalanche. Krivokrasov overskates it. Now Amani in deep, taken out by Foote. And here's Amani back for Chelios. Eric Daze led the Hawks with 11 power play goals during the regular season. Chelios a blast, and that blocked by the Avalanche player Yell, and he'll dump it down the ice.
John, what I meant was that the Blackhawks at least have to be good on this power play. Is that if they get stymied and just shut down, it means that even their power play isn't getting anything offensively, and they need to get some flow, because suddenly the Avalanche are ahead by 2, and you know the Blackhawks have got to start putting the puck in the net.
Well, the Avs are off to a quicker start than they were in game 1. The second goal tonight scored at 5:06. They didn't get their first goal on Wednesday until 5:54 and led 2-0 at the 9:23 mark.
And for Hackett, this has been a tough time. It's a real gut check for Hackett. 2 shots on goal so far in this game, 2 goals for the Avalanche.
The Avalanche have killed a minute 25 of the minor to Scott Young. Interference the call. And now it's driven in deep by the Hawks. Michael Sikora. Moreau gets it behind the goal for Miller. Trying to center. Patrick Waugh blocked it with a stick. Now Murray Craven, number 32. Lefebvre gets it up the wing. Kept in by the Hawks, now centered. And Mike Keane, penalty killer extraordinaire, will dump it down the ice.
Boy, I tell you, what a treat it is. Keane does such a great job killing penalties. Also, 2 goals already, 2 first goals of the game so far in this series.
Here's Weinrich dumping one to the corner. With that last kill, Prime Star will donate $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics. The Avalanche are back to full strength, and they lead 2-0. Scott Young shovels it in. And the Hawk player, Brent Sutter, he took Sakic down, and he'll go off for interference. And now the Avs will get their first power play. Another quick start to this one. Keane and Ozolinsh have scored. And the Avs won that faceoff. Ricci got it right back to Sakic, and Hackett made the save. The Avalanche were 3 of 12 on the power play in Game 1.
And this could be a big point for Hackett, too. He felt the puck for the first time in this hockey game. The first 2 shots got by him. Now he feels the puck. Maybe he can make a couple of saves and get himself righted in this hockey game.
During the season, the Avalanche 3rd best on the power play. Here's Jones back of the goal. Now Sakic to Jones, can't center it. Keith Jones, who led the club with 14 power play goals. On the point, and Sakic whistled the wrist shot wide. Avs keep it in. Denmarsh back of the goal. He was tripped up by Chelios. Now Ricci is in there. And he'll backhand it to the near corner. Carney trying to track it down, but he's run down by Denmarsh. Now the puck flipped high and by Ozolinsh and back to center. 11 to play first period. 2-0 for the Avalanche. Now Sakic stops, makes a play in for Valeri Kamensky. Good feed to Lemieux. In front, oh, Forsberg! Missed an open side. That's the second open side the Avs have missed. They lead 2-0. It could be 4. Earlier, Denmarsh missed an open net.
But you see the continual concentration of Forsberg. You saw him miss the net, but he didn't go, oh, shucks. What he did was the minute that puck came up the boards, he made a pass back to Sakic, almost got themselves an opportunity.
And now Craven bumps Valeri Kamensky from behind. Kamensky celebrating a birthday tonight. 31 years of age for the Russian-born Kamensky.
Of course, Kamensky, who's sat out the first couple games this season, contract dispute, got that settled, and had a very solid season. 28 goals, 38 assists, 66 points. And John, you think back to the series against Chicago last year, he was maybe the Avalanche best player in a very tough series.
He had 6 goals and scored some big ones. Talking to Mark Crawford, the first thing he did after Game 1 was tell his club, it's not a 1-game series. We've got to be better in Game 2. He knows Chicago will play better in the second game. Mark, keep things in perspective.
Well, you know, you've won a Stanley Cup. You've won 4 series last year. And that first game, you always won it. But the idea is there was so much emotion in the building that first period. You don't want that to take away from the fact that you...
Kamensky gets a slashing minor. Craven cross-checking at 9:37. Still a 5-on-4 power play for the Avalanche. 35 to go in Sutter's minor. 10-10 left first period. And getting knocked down behind the goal is Young. And it is whistled down the ice by Eric Weinrich. And Patrick Waugh will play it near side for Ozolinsh. What a start he's off to with 4 points in the first 2 games. Ozolinsh lets it go, and that was off a blade. I think Chelios tipped it, and it went well into the seats here at McNichols.
Well, Ozolinsh, who last year in the playoffs. I felt came into his own as an established super defenseman in this league. Key games, big moments. Ozolinsh was making great.
In the season last year, the coaching staff felt that he would be the X factor if the Avalanche were to have success and win.
Yeah.
He was the X factor.
Because in the playoffs, everyone steps up the defensive play. Everyone steps up the concentration. So if you can have that guy coming from behind with speed and some offensive ability, that's when you create odd man rushes.
Well, Brent Sutter has served his minor. The Avalanche and Hawks are now both 0 for 1 on the power play, but Colorado with a 2-0 lead. And Mike Keane, who scored the first goal, pokes it in deep. And Sikora, he was picked up in the Belfort trade in January. Now the Avalanche. Lefebvre on for Keane. Out there with Yell and Lacroix. And Sikora, who's a pretty good offensive player, just left it behind his goal. And there was no one there but the goaltender, Hackett. And he may have been the most surprised guy in the building to find the puck back of his goal. Hackett and the Hawks have had a tough time. Hackett trying to get away from Smith behind the Hawk goal. Now Lemieux helps out. Weinrich will play it right back of the goal. Smith around the wing. No one is there. But Ozolinsh, and his shot missed the net. And the Hawks, Probert goes up the middle. Chicago can't clear the zone. The Avalanche with some relentless forechecking. And now they finally send it high into the zone. Jim Cummins chased down by Ozolinsh. Then Probert there. Sutter's in front, but they can't find him. And now Sutter and Jones. In comes Probert and Ozolinsh, and a rather quick whistle from Dvorsky. And a stoppage in play.
Well, Dvorsky knows what happens last game. So anytime he sees that puck tied up, he's going to blow the whistle quickly and not let anything get carried away. But the Blackhawks, on the other hand, don't want to get involved in situations where they're going to be taking penalties. John, they felt they didn't compete. It's one thing if the Avalanche just make those great plays. It's another thing to be out-battled for pucks.
Here's Chelios. Can't get a shot to the corner. Gusarov bumps Krivokrasov. Around the boards it goes, and Denmark's a nice play to poke it by the captain Chelios. Here's Krivokrasov in for Tony Amonte, their leading goal scorer in the regular season with 41. In the deep slot, Chelios. Now back of the goal, Amonte can't find it. Krivokrasov, and he did not hold it in. It came outside the blue line, and we get a whistle.
For the Avalanche, kind of situation where the Blackhawks want to keep the game very, very controlled. So there might be periods of this game where there just isn't a lot of action. The Avalanche, after scoring now 8 goals in the game, and Don Johnson, I'm sure, a big fan of the Avalanche start here, but the Avalanche can't be worried about this becoming a boring game and try to over-create. Just keep going with your game plan.
Now Yell, a shot, and a stick save by Jeff Hackett. 7:20 to play here, first period. The Avs with a 2-0 lead here in game 2. And Aaron Miller in his second ever playoff game. His appearance Wednesday marked his first ever playoff match. Now the Hawks have a chance, and a wrist shot was taken by Cummins, and that missed the goal. Now the Hawks chance back on the line. Carnia, blast, saved by Waugh, the rebound in front. And it was knocked down at the defense. And Mike Keane hits the line. For Yellowman's open in front. Backhander by Ricci. And that at the outside of the goal. Now Keane and Ricci in front. And the Hawks cover up. Carney trying to work it away. And he does get it back to center. And Ozolinsh will rip it right back in. And Gary Suter, the shot's 8-4 for the Avalanche. And played high on the boards. And that's called back, I believe, on a 2-line Hawk offside pass.
If the Avalanche Avalanche done a good job of getting the blue line. Again, you see on this play, the defensemen for Chicago are being driven back into the zone by the speed the Avalanche are creating at the blue line. And again, when the Avalanche are skating, it frees up the blue line, frees up that offensive part of the game, and that's the reason why, good reason why, they've scored 8 goals here in just a little over a game.
Mike Keane and Sanders Ozolinsh have scored, and the Avalanche with a 2-0 lead. 6:15 to go in the opening period. Now Forsberg gets it to the corner. Suter pinches in and keeps it in. Suter and Black in the corner. Suter centers, and a penalty called here as Kevin Miller, number 16, was upended. And it looks like Chicago will get its second power play.
Well, this is what the Blackhawks have got to do. Ozolinsh does a good job in front, but then he's forced to take Miller down because Miller's stuck in the zone. You're going to see the left side of your screen. Ozolinsh comes in, knocking the man down, got the stick a little high. Referee made the call. Now the league officials are here tonight. 2 things, John, are going to happen. One, the referees are going to be, they won't work any harder than they normally do, but they're aware that the officials are here, so they're going to be talking to them before the game. And secondly, I bet you both goaltenders will have their pads measured after the game. The league last game, they measured Grant Fuhr's pads in Detroit, and I would imagine they'll be measuring to make sure the pads are legal for both of these goaltenders after tonight's game.
The Hawks are 0 for 1 tonight and 0 for 6 in the series and trail in this game 2-0. They didn't get a shot on their first power play. Here's a chance in front, but Foot blocked it. And Stefan Yell will shoot it down the ice. During the regular season, Chicago was only 1 of 15 in 4 games against the Avalanche.
The Avalanche have scored more goals now in these 2 games. The Blackhawks have scored in all 5+ games in this season series.
Kucherov run down by Tony Amani. And Amani sweeps it back for Chelios. Looks for an opening. Now Shank back of the goal. Daze providing a screen in front. Left point, Gary Suter. Here's Suter now to Chelios, to Suter. 45 gone to the power play. Suter gets it. The shot, and that hit Foot in the foot and went wide. Avs can't clear it. Suter again. Wristed on net. And a save by Wall with the glove. Chicago is doing all they can to get in front of Patrick Waugh.
And you saw Suter in that last shot. He didn't have time for the big windup, the big slap shot. He just threw it on net. Because he sees the Blackhawk players in front. He's going for the tip. They're looking for anything. They know Patrick goes down. So maybe Suter is thinking, I'll try and float one over his shoulder, or maybe someone get lucky and tip it. But Patrick is seeing the puck again tonight very well.
After 1 playoff game for every team, Chicago 74 minutes in penalties, the Avalanche 50. The 3rd place team as far as penalty minutes concerned, the Devils, are way down at 31. So the first game between these clubs was really the only game that got out of hand.
It was not typical of the way playoffs have been going the last 4 or 5 years in the league, but there was a lot of frustration on Chicago's part with the start of the game for the Avalanche.
Here's Weinrich, pass into the slot for Miller. Sets it up on the boards. 50 to go in the power play. Rush shot, and that was wide of Waugh. Never saw it. And Lefebvre up to Sakic. Not clear. Kept in. The pass hit Lefebvre in the back of the skates. And Forsberg, who is killing the penalty with Sakic up front. They clear it out. The Hawks right back in. Now Miller in deep. Daze lost it. Now it goes to the far side. And Miller has Craven tied up in knots. The Hawks get the puck. Can't walk in front of Joe Sakic will wrist it off the far boards and down the ice. And 15 to go in Ozolinsh's minor. The Avalanche with a 2-0 lead. 4:15 to play first period. Probert waits on the boards. Now tips it in deep for Sutter. Sutter trying to bank it off the back of the goal. Cummins will help out. Ozolinsh has returned. The Hawks are now 0 for 2. Chicago still with it. And that pass picked off, by the way, with that last kill. Another $50 to the Special Olympics, courtesy of Prime Star. So Chicago now 0 for 7 in the series on the power play. Put a good feed into Lemieux. His pass broken up and shot to center by Moreau, the rookie, but Lefebvre is there to dump it in.
Now, one of the better offensive players for the Blackhawks in game one was Savard, and he is trying to be open and moving when he gets that puck. So watch out for him. He's trying to get these Blackhawks started in this game.
And the Avs can't hold it in. Colorado in the midst of a line change with 3:10 to play in the first period. Now Sakic on for Alexei Guzarov. It's the corner boards, but Suter brings it around the boards, and Amani just fires it off a stick to center. Chicago's been very flustered in its own zone. Great forechecking by the Avalanche, and I'm not sure if they really have a breakout that's working effectively at this point.
Oh, they're a bang-it-out hockey club when they're pitched down low, but what they like to do is be solid at the neutral zone and try to get their transition game going, but the Avalanche have been skating so well.
Here's Forsberg with Jones and Kamensky. Now Kamensky, the birthday boy. Deadmarsh left it on the far side. Forsberg picks it up, great feed. Kamensky was knocked down, got a shot on goal, and Hackett kicked out the left way. And back come the Blackhawks. Suter trying to go end to end. Rolled in front. Chance in front. They score! They finally get a goal by Patrick Waugh. James Black into the empty net, and that makes it 2-1.
Well, James Black, who did not play last game, the minute he scored, John, I looked over at the Blackhawk bench, and they were pumped. They knew they needed something. And right here, Shantz circles in behind. Nobody picks up Black, and he did not waste the opportunity. And Patrick Waugh loses a fabulous shutout streak, but more importantly in this hockey game, we now have a hockey game. The Blackhawks scored, the pressure's off their shoulder. It's a one-goal game, and for the first time in this series, the Blackhawks feel like maybe they can make this a game.
Black had 12 goals during the regular season and scores at 17:53 from Jeff Shantz and Gary Suter, and that cuts the Avalanche lead in half. So Black gets the goal, and obviously relief for Chicago to finally get on the board. Only his second score
In 4 periods. Dallas down 2-0 to an Edmonton club that played them tough in game one.
Underway here in the second period. The Avalanche up 2-1. Deadmarsh cranks it from the line. And that's off a stick, and Chelios, he gives it up back there. Deadmarsh trying to find an open man for Forsberg. Oh, he whipped it in front. Kamensky was open for a moment, but the Hawks break it up. And Chelios will dump it in off the corner boards, right to the slot, and it's gobbled up by Deadmarsh. Now Forsberg had it knocked away. Foot trying to carry on. And Foot spins away from Tony Amani. Kamensky now for Deadmarsh. He works in around Chelios. Stops to make a play. He does, and a shot by Yell was off the heel of his stick into the far corner. And now Chicago with it. Carney. Through the middle, the rookie Moreau now into Shantz. He's got pretty good speed. He fell down, lost an edge. And Aaron Miller on to Sylvain Lefebvre. Knee-high drive, and Hackett kicked it away. And the Avs race to the corner. Ricci gets it free to Mike Keane. Back in front to Ricci, and he had a stick lifted at the last second by Eric Daze. And the Hawks, Weinrich, trying to squeeze down the far boards. Weinrich has nobody in front. Now he does, but it went by Probert and back to center ice.
Don't know if it's by design or just the way the plays happen, but Blackhawk defensemen have been jumping up into the play the first 2 shifts of this period.
And that will be an icing call against the Hawks. Probert did not skate yesterday, and the word is that Chris Chelios is also banged up. He took a rather vicious slash in one of the Hawks' final games from Glenn Featherstone of Calgary. And Chelios doesn't look like he's moving as effectively as he normally does.
Well, Chelios is always going to be banged up. There's no way he can get around it. He's 35 years old, and he still plays 35 minutes of every game, rough and tough, and guys are going to come at him. So, you know, if there's any player that's used to playing with nicks and bruises, it'll be Chelios.
2-1, the Avalanche lead it early here in the second period.
John, just talking about discipline for the Blackhawks. They only gave the Avalanche 1 power play in that first period. Remember, they gave them 12 in game 1. Much smarter period. Blackhawks got to be pleased with that.
Cummins rubbed out by John Clem. Now Probert follows up and can't center. And Sakic up the boards. Sikora kept it in. Now Cummins trying to find Probert in the slot off his stick. And Jones down the near side to Sakic. To the middle. Sakic trying to get free. Backhander, and that hit a skate in front. And the Hawks with Brent Sutter. Sends a roller to the far corner, and Chicago making a quick change. Here's Jones on the wing, can't clear it now. Foot does. And Chelios going to spin away from some forechecking for James Black. Top shot and a stick save by Waugh. And the rebound played up the wing. Miller was there for the Hawks. Now it comes to Jones. Good pass for Peter Forsberg. In with Young. Forsberg to the middle. The late man. The shot on goal by Corbet. Oh, a nice play by Forsberg. And Hackett had to be alert.
Well, Hackett had to find that through a screen. He knows that Forsberg has just dumped the puck. Now, the man was coming off the bench, and that's why he was open.
He was open, but Hackett was alert and made a pretty good save. It's still 2-1 to the Avalanche. Regular season in Dallas, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 Central. That's tomorrow night from Big D. Here in Big D, Denver, the Avalanche with a 2-1 lead. 3 minutes into this second period. And he has won the face-off foot. Top shot, and Hackett went down and made the save. Forsberg with the rebound, can't center. And the Blackhawks start up ice. Craven for Krasov. Here comes Carney. And his shot was blocked. Forsberg back checking, tipped it away. And the Avs on the move the other way. Deadmarsh in for Forsberg, trying to make a move. He does. Out of the corner, Kamensky for Forsberg. Gets away from his check. Forsberg in front, but Krasov broke it up. And now Hakamani has some room, but Foot with a good speed got back. And Amani didn't get a shot. Now Craven follows up. Oh, what a save there by Patrick Waugh. Great glove save on Craven.
Again, John, a Blackhawk defenseman jumping up in the play. We saw Carney on the rush before. Here on the left side, that's going to be Chelios. That's why Craven, the forward, was able to get up there, and there were 4 Blackhawks in the zone. Waugh makes a good save. See how quick Patrick is. Talking to other goaltenders around the league, what's the best thing about Patrick Waugh? They always come back to a lot of different things, but one thing is always in the top 3, his setup. His initial setup to the shot is almost perfect every time.
Technically, he is close to flawless.
So if he doesn't see it, it's a screen. It has to be a great shot to beat. That's what Patrick Waugh does. He plays the percentages, and if you're going to beat him, it isn't going to be a bad goal. It's going to be a real good shot.
Well, Patrick, with a win tonight, could move into a tie for first place in goaltender victories, tying Batlin Billy Smith.
Billy Smith, of course, of New York Islander fame, won 4 Stanley Cups with those Islanders. And that's the club that most people compare the Avalanche to as far as style. The ability to beat you in so many ways. The Islanders were a terrific all-around team.
Here's Weinrich. Now to Moreau, the rookie. Right on a save by Waugh as he went down and stopped Moreau. 4 minutes gone, second period. A 2-1 Avalanche lead. And the Hawks slide it down the ice. Waugh one-hands it. Up the board, Stefan Yell runs into some traffic. Chance for Chicago. Back on the line for Smith. Fires it on goal! And a save again by Waugh. I believe Moreau, the rookie, tipped it. And there was that positioning again.
The positioning again, but that was a good shift for the Blackhawks. And this is going to be a sort of an interesting shift coming up. This is the kid line. Moreau, Chance, Desai. And they did a nice job of getting the puck. Waugh has to make a big save. And now the big line, the heavy hitters come on the line. And you look at the Blackhawks since the Belfort trade, 16, 10, and 5. And one of the big reasons everyone said the chemistry improved so much in the Blackhawk dressing room. John, we've been around the Avalanche players. They have a great chemistry. They like each other. They play hard together and for each other. And there's no underestimating how important that is in the dressing room.
Yeah, this is such a tough game. 26 teams battle hard for the Stanley Cup. If you're not on the same page, you have no chance to win.
You play 82 games. You're together. More than these guys are with their families. They're with their teammates. And if you don't get along, can that be poison?
I can't imagine a team like the Oakland A's of the early 70s when they were winning World Series. A team like that succeeding in such a team game like hockey.
No, you couldn't. I mean, that's an individual game. And things are so much different.
Here's Suter. His shot tipped away. And the Avalanche who have gotten goals from Keane and Ozelinch. A 2-1 lead. James Black has scored for Chicago. Probert trying to find an open man, but the only guy there was Jones. And he'll tip it out. And now back for Suter for Sikora. Up to Jim Cummins. This line of Cummins, Sutter, and Probert did a great job in a game in this building earlier this year when the Hawks won 4-2 on February 8th.
They were the dominant line, Probert the dominant player, and that's what they're hoping for from this line tonight.
Lemieux overskates it, and he put himself offside. Let's check in downstairs with Drew Goodman.
All right, John, thank you. One of the interesting things about Chris Chelios all those years in Chicago, he has forged a very close relationship with Mr. Chicago, 23 for the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. They're very good friends. They play golf together during the offseason. On occasion, Chelios says that Michael will come to a game. Biggest similarity, their competitiveness, though on the golf course, Chelios can't keep up with Jordan. He says, now all Michael will do is let me drive the cart.
Well, I'd drive the cart for Michael Jordan. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you name it, boy, I'll tell you.
Here the Hawks, a long shot by Savard, missed the goal. And the loose change picked up by Miller. 14:40 to play in the second. A 2-1 Avalanche advantage. Good pass in for BLACKHAWKS. He tried to split the defense, but was spun around at the last second. And the Hawks Black will turn and dump it down the ice. And icing called. Kevin Miller was knocked down behind the play, and he gets up and is a bit peeved at Aaron Miller, I believe.
Well, Miller was mad at Miller. Aaron Miller was mad at the other Miller for knocking him down away from the play, and that's when he gave him a little poke. And I think the referee just kind of looked at it and said, okay, guys, you both had your little shot. I won't call penalties, but you evened it up. Aaron Miller, John, as you mentioned, his second ever playoff game, and he's replacing in the lineup Krupp. And let's not forget last year, not having Krupp is a big loss to the Avalanche. They're lucky to have a guy as good as Miller in the wings, because Krupp last year in the playoffs was the second leading defenseman in scoring. 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points in 22 games.
Off the face-off, Forsberg. Good pass to Kamensky. Gets away from Craven. Denmarsh was open in front. Now Denmarsh gets turned around, and his shot was blocked at the Hawk defense. And here's a long feed to Krivokrasov. He fell down on the boards. And foot now to center. Too far for Forsberg. Craven back in for Amani. And that shot from the boards was well wide. Now Chelios on the left point. Wrist shot by Carney. Off a shin pad in front. And behind the play, Foot and Amani get together. Play goes on. Rush shot by Denmarsh. Rebounded. Denmarsh tried to get to it before Hackett did, but it bounced over his stick. Now Forsberg run down. Trying to make a play. Chelios outlet feed for Krivokrasov. Flop shot and a save by Waugh. And the rebound in front. Gusarov now for Kamensky. He was knocked off the puck. Chance can't follow up with a shot, and the hitting picks up here in the second period. Still 2-1 for the Avalanche. Mike Keane scored one earlier, and that nearly rainbowed over the head of Hackett, but he got it with the glove. And the Hawks to center. The pace has picked up here in the last 2 minutes. The pace has picked up
up, the hitting is picked up, and the referee is now starting to stand back and watch things that are happening behind the play. For the first time, it's starting to take on a little feel of like game one.
Ricci, who scored a second period goal in game one, in the corner with Yale. Ricci and Smith come together. And it's grabbed by Moreau. He goes up the middle. And that should be an icing call over the stick of Chance, and a whistle.
The one-on-one plays are so important in this game. Amonte and Foote. But once it comes playoff time, there is a feel to Lemieux. You can almost feel the energy around him. He had a goal game one and an assist, now picks up his second goal in 2 games.
And he ended the year with a goalless streak of 11 games. And scores his second in as many nights from Jones and Clem at 7:30. And it's 3-1. A great feed from Jones. I'm not sure if he saw Claude coming on the other side, but it was a bullseye pass.
But the Avalanche done a good job of knocking down one of the Blackhawk players along the boards. And one of the keys to goals, John, in the playoffs is who really gets out, who wants it, who gets away from the check quickest. When you go in the corner, a lot of times 2 players are locked in together. It's the guy that bounces out of the corner first that gets the scoring chance. And this time, it was Lemieux.
Lemieux from Jones and Clem at 7:30. It's 3-1. Colorado. 12:05 to play. Here are the Avs again. Corbet. Rebound. Oh, and Lacroix had a great chance and Hackett down. Got the pad over. And stopped Lacroix on the rebound.
Rather just driving to the net. That's what this line does well. He just keeps coming and coming. Sees the opening. And tries to stuff it 5-hole on Hackett, who makes a good save. There's Lacroix right there where he always is. Corbet, nice little move. And he sees the opening. He tries to go 5-hole, but Hackett took it away. Eric Lacroix, who only has 2 playoff games under his belt before this year. So he's only playing his 4th ever playoff game. The other 2 came with Toronto Maple Leafs back in 93-94.
And a great regular season, 18 goals, 16 of those 18 were at even strength. Now the Blackhawks, now down 3-1. Just under 12 to play in the second period. Corbet to the corner, Chelios now a pass. Craven back of the goal for Amani. Back in front to Craven on the give and go, but that was read well by Foote. Now Sergei Krivakasov on the line. Here's Craven, a shot. Saved by Waugh, rebound. Picked up by Kucherov behind his goal. And then Foote and Amani bump. And a penalty coming up, I believe, on Foote for cross-checking Amani. Krivakasov checked by Kucherov. And Adam Foote will go for 2.
Well, Foote and Amani, for whatever reason, have just been going toe-to-toe on every shift. Amani got knocked down heavy by Foote, but then the 2 of them going in the corner right there. There's no penalty yet. That's not the penalty. Here it comes right here. Bang. And again, the power play for the Blackhawks needs to pick up, John. The Avalanche are playing a tough game, a hard game, a good defensive game. They're not going to give the Blackhawks many scoring opportunities. They've only got 11 shots on goal in this game.
We mentioned it earlier, but Craig Hartsburg would dearly love to have Alexei Zhamnov in the lineup. He is missing his 2nd consecutive game, a right leg injury, believed to be the ankle, hurt in the final regular season game. He leads the Hawks with 22 points in the power play.
And we know how important Oshlinch is. And Oshlinch is the leader in points for the Avalanche on the power play. So anytime you're missing your key guy, somebody who is not normally on the first unit is now on the first unit, which takes away from the effectiveness.
Chicago 0 for 2 and 0 for 7 in the series. The Avalanche ended the regular season with 32 kills in the last 36 times short.
Yeah, they went through a little slump. They came 60 through 70 maybe, where they were getting scored. They were doing a lot of things right, but the goals were going in. They tightened up at the end of the season.
And the Hawks on the power play, moving in, but Kucherov clears it. And then Yell took a high stick, I believe, from Amani. And there goes the Chicago power play.
Now, this is one of those penalties the referee has to call. Amani, I don't believe, meant to get the stick up, but he really gets it up right there. He's looking down on Yell. I mean, that's a real dangerous play. But Amani wasn't trying to do that. Amani with the long hair. He like Mike Ricci. They're not getting a cut till the season's over. Amani started off the season, maybe even then needing a haircut. But what happened was he started off so well, no one would let him get a haircut. And there on the other side, who do you think's got the longer hair, John?
I'll tell you, Amani might have a beat, and Ricci hasn't had his haircut since training camp. Well, the Avalanche now 4-on-4, so they have killed that penalty, and Prime Star donates $50 to the Special Olympics. 4-on-4. The Avs with a 3-1 lead. That last goal again, Lemieux from Jones and Clem. And the play is worked into the zone, but the Hawks quickly fire it down the ice. And Miller tracks it down. And Miller up the middle. Weinrich picks it off. Chance trying to get the puck, but it comes out. And Miller's alone up there, and he'll dodge the check from Weinrich and get it in deep. Here's Suter. He really struggled down this stretch. Only 1 point in his last 22 games. And Suter, in his heyday, was a great offensive defenseman.
80-point man on an average basis with the, with the Calgary Flames, and then his first part of his time with the Blackhawks. So it's not been a great year for number 20.
Forsberg meanders into the Hawk zone. Each team a man short. 35 to go in Foots minor, and then the Avalanche will have about an 18-second man advantage. The Hawks, Savard lost the handle, and Carney back at his own line for Chelios. The shots in the game, 16-12 to the Avalanche. Now Chelios picks up the loose puck into Savard, drops it off. Chelios a shot, and he missed the goal by a good margin, and it's off the boards and back to center.
Chelios has a real hard shot. Don't underestimate it. If he gets a chance, he likes to unload it.
Now the Avs on the power play. Foot is back on, knock the man down. Denmark a blast. And off the boards, and Hackett will take no chance. And we get a whistle.
We're just looking up at the scoreboard, John. Detroit has finally scored. They've got 2 goals and now lead St. Louis 2-1. Edmonton still ahead of Dallas 2-0.
And later tonight, Phoenix in Anaheim. The Mighty Ducks won game 1 in that series.
Speaking of winning, this man right here is pretty impressive. Record for wins. Look at the most playoff wins among active coaches. Mark Crawford coming on. Got 19 in the Stanley Cup under his belt.
Could have 34 by the end of the 97 playoffs if they win the Cup.
I was going to say, if he has 34, he's a pretty happy guy. That was a great shot last year of him. Right after the Avalanche had won the Cup, he stepped on the ice, he hugged the train, and they got him just for a second by himself, and he sort of punched the air. I mean, for players, it's wonderful, but for coaches, it's an equally big thrill.
9:12 to go in the second period. The Avs on a great power play. Ozolinsh to Lemieux. A shot, save, rebound. Hackett made a good save on second from the edge of the goal crease. Now Lemieux again. In front. Jones a shot from turnaround drive. Amani is back on. Chicago back to full strength. Sackett, right point. Wrist shot. But Clem missed the net. Now Ozolinsh gets it. Another drive, and that was off a leg in front. And Brent Sutter trying to clear it. And he does down the ice. Team's back to full strength. 8:35 to play. Second period. 3-1 Avalanche advantage. Ozolinsh on the loose puck. To the backhand, now to the forehand. Tipped on goal by Sackett. And Hackett was alert there. And played up the near wing by Eric Daze. And Aaron Miller now for Corbet. Cross corner dumped in. Smith down to the near side. And the Hawks go up the middle. Jeff Shantz. This second period has had a lot more float to it, back and forth. The first period was almost all Avalanche.
This is this is more of the type of hockey that I think the Blackhawks expected they would play in this series, and the Avalanche expected the Blackhawks to play. So the Avalanche are doing a good job of being patient right now. You know, the Blackhawks are trying to turn it up, but they're not making mistakes. The Avalanche have yet to really give the Blackhawks an odd-man rush.
Craven trying to go all the way, but he lost the puck in a pile-up, and Nhl. They'll play it off the boards to center. 7:30 to play in the second period. Now Nhl near the line. Gets some help from Mike Keane and Ricci. Here comes Ricci. Good pass. Keane, he tipped it on goal. How he did that, I don't know. And Hackett made the save. He was spun around like a corkscrew, but got a shot on goal. Now Zakora. He was leveled by Mike Keane. What a hit. The Hawks get it. And the shot by center missed the goal. What a hit by Mike Keane on Zakora.
Well, that's one of those clean, hard hits. You carry the puck like that, he made the cardinal sin. That little peek to see where the puck went after he passed it when he's going cross ice.
Here's a shot by Chelios, blocked by Guzerov. He was pulled down, no call. And Guzerov taps it back to center. And the Avalanche make a line change here on the go. The 2-goal Avs advantage here. Sutter, number 12, trying to find an open man to the corner, but broken up by Guzerov. Not clear. Now Probert in deep. And Watt out of the goal. And now we get a whistle. I think it came out of play. The hit of the series. You can't watch your passes, folks.
That is just a thump. Forwards defensemen were making so many good plays, good decisions defensively.
Picked up his 9th career playoff shutout, stopping 22 Hawks shots. And Chicago did not have an odd-man rush in Game 1, and they've had only one here in Game 2. And now the Hawk player behind the goal is upended. An interference minor called as Miller was knocked down.
Clem just trying to take away the forechecking, gets caught for interference. Here's the ice level. What a great shot to be. Now watch Keane coming across. Sees him just have a peek down, and that's just... Doesn't that remind you of the Keane Jovanovski hit last year in Florida, where the two just went up? I'll tell you, he is one tough hockey player, Mike Keane. He takes no quarter, and the thing about Keane, he asks no quarter. He doesn't ask anybody to let up on him. It's just night after night of hard-nosed hockey. It's the only way this guy knows how to play.
Former Canadian trainers said that this man has as high a threshold of pain as anyone they've ever seen.
Oh yeah, he used to the rodeo. He was a clown in the rodeo when he was a kid. He just has got courage, hockey courage. It's just a very interesting man.
The Hawks, as you saw, 0 for 3 tonight. And 0 for 8 in the series. They desperately need a goal here, trailing 3-1. Chicago's a good comeback team in third period, but they don't want to go into the third down by 2 against Waugh and the Avalanche. Now Chelios. Cleared on defense with Suter up front. Chance, Amonte, and Daze. Suter back for Chelios. Don't forget the Avalanche, 14 short-handed goals in the regular season, 4th best in the league. They're always a threat to score. And Foote picks up a loose puck. 40 gone in the man advantage.
And here's where there'll be a real threat to score. The Blackhawks have now had their first unit on the full time. The Avalanche throw Deadmarsh and Forsberg out now to kill the penalty.
Probert, quick pass into Amani. Went to take a shot, lost it. Now Suter on the line to Chelios. Back for Suter. He goes to Chelios. Now the Hawks fake a shot. Chelios gets it, a drive, and that missed the net. Suter trying to hustle, and he does keep it in. Amani. And Chelios is going off, so there's no one on the right point.
Yeah, he was just going for launches. He had been on for the full power play. Needed some just to get off and get a break.
Eric Weinrich, the ex-Devil, and it's under the pad of Patrick Waugh. And we have another face Peter, we talked earlier to Brent Sutter about the altitude, and some people think once you're here in Denver for a few days, it's easier. Other folks feel it gets tougher.
That's my feeling. Just from going to the University of Denver, and I'm sure the Blackhawks are relying on that fact, and they're not thinking about the altitude. You can't think about it. But I've just seen too many teams over the years on that second night just seem to lose gas. Because, it takes a while for your body, not just a week. I remember Murray Armstrong used to have us come to town minimum 2 weeks before we started training camp because it takes a while. The thing that you don't have is that extra energy, that jump late in games.
4:28 to play in the second period. The Hawks on a power play down 3-1 Sikora. His slap shot hit a leg. Now Daze far side for Shantz. 25 to go in Clem's minor. Shantz pulled down. And foot will clear it by Weinrich. And the Blackhawks have to regroup late on their power play. 15 seconds left in the main advantage. Weinrich on for Shantz. He's got pretty good speed. And Law stops it. And foot runs into Moreau, and Yale will clear it. Clem has returned. Another kill, another $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics thanks to Prime Star. Chicago now 0 for 9 in the series. Gusarov up the middle. Jones can't find it now. Moreau hooked and held by Gusarov. Peter, you get the feeling that the Avalanche get the next goal. This game is all but over.
This is the key couple of minutes in this hockey game for the Blackhawks. Again, you don't want to make mistakes. They get a goal, great, but give yourself a chance going into that third period.
Now the Hawks with a loose puck. And Weinrich will roll it in behind the goal. Brent Sutter way behind the play is limping off. Oh, look out here. It came in front. And Wall had to get back. Probert now with the puck. Trying to get a shot. Great job by Clem to knock him to the ice. Carney a blast. And that's off a leg and over the goal. Under 3 to play here in the second period. The Avs leading 3-1. Sackett has been on the ice for a long time. Cummins was tripped up by Sackett. And the referee looked right at it and didn't make a call. And the Avalanche, knowing they needed change, Gusarov a good play. And this will be an icing call against Colorado.
With Probert and Cummins, and he has been in this position ever since he got to the bench about a minute and a half ago. I was watching him. He was banging his stick against the boards. He hurt his knee earlier in the season. He just is in a lot of pain.
He also missed 36 games with a groin injury. 2:25 to play in the second period. The Avalanche with a 3-1 lead. Goals from Keane, Ozolinsh, and Lemieux. Blackhawks scored the lone Chicago goal in the series. And both teams execute changes on the fly here. Forsberg steps into the zone for Kamensky. Rush shot and a save by Hackett on a low drive by Kamensky. Krivokrasov. For Savard, checked at the Avs line. Now Kamensky again celebrating a birthday tonight. Drops it for Forsberg. Oh, great move. Forsberg around Savard. Now he spins away. Brewster. And that was blocked by Weinrich. Forsberg trying to keep it in. The Avalanche do hold it in, but not for long as Daze turns. And he'll shoot it down the ice. Now LaFay gets across the red line. And the dump to the near corner. Forsberg reads the play well and cuts it off. And now Daze off the skate of Suter at center ice. 1:15 to go in the second period. Kamensky. Here comes Denmark trying to sprint into the zone. But Daze is there, and his high floater ends up deep in the Avs end. The shot's 21-14 late here in the second period. A minute to go in the period. Ricci and Kearney to the boards. Followed up by Mike Keane in front of Yell. Didn't get a shot, now Yell again. Cycles it back to the goal. Ricci was tripped up, no call. But the Avalanche hold it in. Mike Keane there. Ricci gets up, has his glove and his stick, has the puck. Tried to center one, but Hackett blocked it. And Moreau is there. And he'll shoot it down the ice.
so smooth going back there. Cummins made a nice move, but Gusarov read it, stripped for the puck, get it out of the zone.
10 to go in the period. Oh, Wall was checked in there, but the Hawks can't center. Now they do. And the shot by Cummins is blocked at the defense, and that goes out of play. What a big play there with 3 seconds to go in the period.
Well, for the Blackhawks, it looks like they're going to go into the third period. It'd be interesting to see if Brent Sutter joins. But here's a play that we have. You see Sutter, middle of your screen. Seems to fall awkwardly into the Avalanche player, and from that point on, he's just in real pain trying to get to the bench. I'm not sure what happened. You know, 'cause sometimes when you have a knee and you can twist it just by putting weight on it the wrong way.
It's been a tough year for the Sutters. His brother Daryl, the former coach of Chicago, suffered a cracked skull in a farming accident, fell off a tractor. And his brother Daryl, Brent's brother, he was in critical condition for a couple of days. He's fine now, but boy, it was a scary incident.
He was unconscious, had no idea how long he was out. Let's just say thank God it wasn't the frozen cold weather that's usually there at the time of the year that he was injured.
3.4 seconds to go in the second period. Big face-off here. Sakic against Craven. Craven gets it back. Here's a shot by Chelios and a save by Waugh at the buzzer. And that is the end of the second period. The Avalanche get the only goal by Lemieux. And we'll watch Sutter. Unfortunately, he still seems to be in quite a bit of pain.
Yeah, why the Blackhawks are sitting there is the fact that the home team goes off the ice first, and then the referee whistles for their visiting club.
Seems fine.
You know, I think that hit that little plastic part that Patrick has to protect his chin, and that's exactly why it has it there. Because he pulls back, that would have hit him flush in the throat.
The Hawks, Amani going wide. That shot missed by 18 inches, and it's around the boards and down the ice. Teams at full strength early in the third. The Avalanche with a 2-goal lead. Hawks give it up. Stefan Yell in front. Oh, a shot by Keane, and Hackett had to be alert. They made a good save. Now Yell again for Ricci. That shot is on goal, and Hackett kicked it out. This line has been very good in the first 2 games. Yell, Keane, and Ricci.
He's got a couple of goals. Yell and Keane have killed penalties. Ricci's been his usual agitating self. But they've skated well. The whole Avalanche club so far in this series has skated well.
The Avs in the midst of a line change failed to clear it. Smith on the left point, knocked down by Keane with a high stick. And we get a whistle. And now Patrick Waugh is calling either the trainer Pat Carnes or the equipment manager Rob McLean. Again, he took that shot in the mask, either on the neck guard or the bottom of the mask.
It's Pat Carnes, and he is the medical guy, so I think Patrick Waugh has been stunned a little bit by this shot.
His jaw.
He's holding his jaw, so that must not have hit what I thought, the plastic part. Now, the interesting thing is, now watch the shot go off the stick up, and it's pretty, it's so blurred, it's hard to see exactly where it hit. Here's a shot come up. It hit Patrick, and you see, now interesting, John, very interesting, it hit him on the right side. And when Pat Carnes was out there, he was pointing to the left side of his face, the left part of his jaw. That means it knocked it right across. Fortunately, those masks are so solid now. In days gone by, Patrick Waugh, I guarantee you, is out cold.
Bergeron won in the playoff game against Boston. Nearly got killed on a shot like that, tipped on the face mask.
And those are the reasons why goaltenders are gone to the mask. The shots just come so quickly. And thank goodness they are made so well.
So apparently he got it on the jaw. And thankfully is in the game. All the Hawks win the face-off. Cummins can't get a shot on goal. And the Avs counter the other way. AVALANCHE. He scored another goal in this game on Hackett. And we get a whistle.
Crawford, that's got to be a scary moment. He's got great confidence in Craig Billington, but Patrick Waugh, I mean, he's the man. And we're just watching Patrick. He doesn't seem to be, in a lot of pain. He's sort of poking at his mask right now. So hopefully it's just, he just got jarred.
Jarred in the jaw. Speaking of goalies, how about Brodeur scoring a goal last night for the Devils?
And did you see his reaction afterwards? Like a candy shot. He was so excited, he was jumping up and down. I mean, he's got that great look in his face. Martin Brodeur is one of those kids that just loves to play hockey, loves to play goal for whatever reason. I don't know. And he just loved that moment.
Now the Avs with Sakic. Sends a bouncer to the corner. Lemieux out-muscles Carney at center. Now Eric Lacroix just on the ice. Walks in the shot. And that's off a Hawk player and back to the neutral zone.
Well, the Blackhawks down with Sutter out and with Miller to center, Cummings and Probert.
2:35 played here in the third period. Now Lacroix stole it. Right in front. Forsberg a shot, and Hackett was down. And he made the save. Apparently, in talking to some of the Hawk people, Sutter injured an MCL, Peter, late in the season. You mentioned he had a knee injury. And apparently the MCL is in bad shape prior to this series.
Yeah, so and you hate to see a warrior like Sutter go down. I mean, injuries are a part of this game, but you just hate to see it against somebody that competes. And it's such an honest hockey player like Sutter. Here's a look at Forsberg in front. Forsberg's trying to, as only he can do, something creative, doing a spinorama. He's trying to just find it and then go back to it and go short side, thinking maybe Hackett was going to pull across away from the post. Interesting how Forsberg, with the face-offs, he's not taking the draws. Deadmarsh takes the draws on this line with Kaminsky and Forsberg.
Well, it's advantageous to have a right-handed shot on a draw to the left of the goalie because he can do two things. Go forward with it or back like he does here. And Foot sends it in behind the goal. It gives the opposition something to think about. Now the Hawks. Savard darts to center. In for James Black. Has some room. In front of the goal. And it was knocked down by Foot, and then Waugh swept it away. And the Hawks had an odd man rush there. Pretty good chance.
They had an odd man rush because Gooseroff was sort of pulled back, away from the play. But it was a real, that's an old-time hockey play. Pull that man down, create the odd man rush.
Here comes Amani, squeeze off the puck, but he keeps on going. A drive, good save there by Waugh with the right pad on Amani.
And Amani's starting to get frustrated. He's the go-to guy. He's had just a great season. His best ever 41 goals. But he's been snuffed out so far in the first two games.
Now Keith Carney for the fleet-footed Sergei Krivokrasov. Played pretty well in game number one. Has 4 shots to lead all Hawk players. He comes in front. Kevin Miller. Chased back to the corner by Lefebvre. Near the line. Carney kept it in with a good move. And that first shot was wide. Now Krivokrasov back on the goal. Here's Craven. Looking to center. Carney shot. Blocked. Right to a Hawk. Glove saved by Waugh on Krivokrasov. And the Avalanche get it out of trouble.
That may have been Patrick's best save because he had to find that shot through a screen and then get up and get that catching glove on the puck.
15:35 to play in the third period. Still 3-1 for the Avalanche. Chelios up the far boards. Ricci stops it, rubbed out by Daze. And now Moreau. Roller in on Waugh. Back to the corner by Lefebvre. Shantz trying to get to it. Now Jeff Shantz does for Chicago. To Daze, and that shot off the backboards right in front. And Waugh had to be alert. Well, I guess he's got all his faculties. He's been razor sharp again. And Lemieux a goal in the second for the Avalanche. Patrick Waugh's shutout streak ended at 231 minutes and 5 seconds. That was very close to the NHL record of 2:48:32. So he was about 17 minutes away.
Remember, that's almost 4 complete hockey games. where he shut out the opposition.
In the pressure of the playoffs.
The Hawks keep it in, but can't get a puck on goal. And Sakic down the middle, followed up by Jones. Now to Denmark, back to Jones. Oh, he went to take a wrist shot, but was checked from behind. Now back to the goal. It's the captain Sakic in the goal crease. A drive, rebound. Oh, Denmark couldn't get it by Hackett, who made a good save, and then was caught in no man's land on the rebound. And Probert in the middle for Savard. Shot on goal. And a save by Waugh. And it's cleared up the middle by Ozolinsh.
Nice composure by Ozolinsh. All those people all around him, he just sort of stick handled his way out, got it out of his zone. Detroit comes back with 2 goals to beat St. Louis. Larry Murphy, the ageless defenseman, gets the game winner.
Here's a drive by Forsberg. That missed everything. Over 6 gone by in the third period, a 3-1 Avalanche lead. Looking to take a 2-love lead back to Chicago for Game 3 on Sunday afternoon. Now Lefebvre. Chased from behind by Moreau, and he gets it to center. Kamensky now picked up by Forsberg. Nearly got around Chelios, but Chelios with a good stick knocked it away.
There's the brilliance of Chelios, not intimidated by Forsberg. Attacked Forsberg with the puck. Not many defensemen want to try that.
And Chelios winds it around the boards to center. Here's Foote. Just tapped in by Ricci. He knocked the helmet off of Weinrich's head. And they battle in deep. Finally, Murray Craven gets it. And a penalty call. I think Foote interfered with the Blackhawk player James Black, and Foote is upset. Our Subaru game summary.
Well, right off the bat, it's Mike Keane. Lightning strikes twice for Keane. He gets a first goal in both Game 1 and Game 2. Next, Ozolinsh rushes into the play, gets his second goal of the playoffs, made it 2-0. Blackhawks finally score on Patrick Waugh, but Claude Lemieux's goal in the second period has given the Avalanche the 3-1 lead, and that's where we stand right now in this hockey game.
But Chicago will get a power play. Just a great feed by Jones on that goal. Our Subaru Outback game summary.
Jones has played well tonight. 2 assists in this game. Sakic and Forsberg both have an assist. Ozolinsh a goal. Lemieux has a goal. So the big guns have been out, not as heavy as they were last game, but they've made their presence felt.
The Hawks are 0 for 4 on the power play in this game and 0 for 9 in the series. And are desperate for a goal, down 3-1.
And they need to just put the puck on net. Daze get in front. Suter and Chelios just let that thing go.
Oh, speaking of letting it go, Amani did, and Patrick with the glove save.
And it's like anything, Joe. We saw last year the Florida Panthers start to get that look in their eye like they were never gonna beat this guy. He can be so large in goal physically, but also mentally for the shooters. You start thinking you have to make the perfect shot, and which makes the net, it goes from 4x6 to about an inch wide all the way around, because you think you have to pump in and off the post to beat him.
Off the face-off, Yale pokes one to the corner, cleared by Gusarov, and down the ice. And Hackett out to play it. Mike Keane is in there. And a rather weak backhander by Hackett, now knocked down by Yale, and he'll dump it in. I thought Scotty Bowman, the Red Wing coach, had a good thought when he said earlier this year, you have a better chance of beating Patrick Waugh from 20 feet than you do from 10 feet. And that's on the heels of your thinking about how he cuts down angles.
It's so hard to get the puck up over top of him if you're in close. You got a little bit of a chance from a ways out.
A minute to go on the power play. Savard in front. Amani trying to one-time it, but he missed everything. And Peter Forsberg short-handed. Trying to get through a couple of players, but Chelios slowed him down. And the fans not happy about that. This is the Hawks' 5th power play. The Avalanche have had 2. So Chicago's been a very disciplined team tonight after giving the Avalanche 12 power plays in Game 1.
But it's a frustrating time. The last game it was the Avalanche power play that dominated. Tonight, the penalty killing is just taking away any chance of the Blackhawks really getting themselves going in this game.
Oh, a shot by Craven, and Patrick Waugh with the right arm made a pretty good save. 15 to go. In foots Minor. And again, the Avalanche will dump it down the ice. Sikora back. Out of center for the rugged Bob Probert. Left it. Weinrich a shot, and that hit an Avalanche player. Or a Hawk player up high. It was a Chicago player on the right side of the face. Can't tell.
Oh, he went. Oh, Weinrich, who has a good shot, just one times it. That's Murray Craven, I believe, and
there's another center.
Yeah, another exactly. But he's got that look in his eye. He doesn't know what hit him. I'll tell you right now, he was going for the front of the net. You can. That's just one of those horror shows. And I'll tell you it's a horror show for it also is Eric Weinrich. Because it was his shot, a high shot from the point. And if you're cruising through and you catch one of those up top, I mean, it is just panic time. John, I'm always more surprised that, more guys aren't hit like this because the puck, you can't move. You're not even looking at the front of the net. I mean, at the puck, and all of a sudden, bang. Now here's the first look. The puck goes back to Weinrich, doesn't even stop it. Oh my gosh. Right side of his face. He didn't even see it. He was turning back into the play. Got the goal cam shot right here. He's cutting in. See Patrick going down, protecting himself. He knew it was high. Craven didn't. But again, you just see Weinrich doesn't hit anything, just straight up. Craven right there goes, oh, gosh, no. And bang. Because you see it. I mean, by the time you see it, it's too late. And you're just going, I don't believe it. You got enough time to think. I remember one time, John, standing in front of that. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Well, hopefully Craven.
2-3 center ice on this hockey club are gone playing a team that's got Forsberg and Sakic down the middle.
Well, the Avalanche have now killed it off. Prime Star donates another $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics. And the Hawks are now 0 for 5 and down 3-1. And the injuries are mounting for Chicago. 10:15 to go in the third.
But freak kind of injury. Sutter just looked like he tried to avoid Gooserov, stepped in a rut, seemed to hurt his knee in this one. Great. That's every forward's worst nightmare.
We'll use wrister, no problem there for Jeff Hackett. And Moreau will stick handle the center. Dumped in off the glass by Sylvain Lefebvre.
This will be quagmire time for the Blackhawks. The Avalanche will start taking away that middle ice, the neutral zone. The Blackhawks are going to find it very tough going through that area.
And a glove save there by Jeff Hackett. Peter, let's look at that last shot again on Freeman. I hope that nothing is broken, but the way this puck hit him in the face, you've got to wonder if he didn't break a bone.
Yeah, because it's coming up right here. Say that one time I was playing in Boston and Brad Clark took a shot from the point. I got cross-checked from behind. It was coming at me so I couldn't move right in the middle of my eyes. It was coming right from my middle of my eyes. The only thing I could do was pick the spot that I wanted to have it hit. I just lowered my head, bang, right off the forehead. And you just sit there and go, man, does this hurt? But Craven's, of course, my head is too hard. But Craven's looked at him on the side of the head where a lot more damage could be done. You just hope that Murray Craven, a real class guy and a good veteran in the National Hockey League, is okay.
9:30 to play in regulation time. Here's Chelios with some room. And a shot. Oh, tipped on goal. What a save there by Patrick Waugh. And we get some pushing. Haven't had much of this all night.
See right there, Cummins and Probert trying to get Savard. Just pull him out. Because it was Savard who's trying to be an agitator, trying to get something going. He knows he's got the Twin Towers, Probert and Cummins on his side. So, maybe shake things up. But I think the Avalanche last game proved that this is not something that's going to work against them as a team. Probert, 25 minutes in penalties last game. Just sort of had a little check. That's not even close to the record for most penalty minutes in a single playoff game. Who else but Dave Schultz? 42 minutes, the game against Toronto Maple Leafs back in '76. 42 minutes in one game. And only one minor. Think old Uncle Dave wasn't doing a little run around that night?
The Hammer.
The Hammer.
Who wrote that book, The Confessions of the Hammer, I believe. Said he never liked to do it after all those years. Give me a break.
Exactly. 450 minutes a season later.
Under 10 to play in regulation time. Ozolinsh trying to duck away from the forechecking of Probert. Now on to Sakic. 3-on-2 break here. Chris crosses with Jones. Now Ozolinsh gets it high to Clem. And that shot is tipped by a Hawk player behind the goal. Jones took out a man. Sakic tried to center it. But now Carney with it for the Blackhawks. And the Avalanche peel back. And a giveaway at center. There's a good example of what the Avalanche will do defensively. If they can't get the puck, they'll fall back to center. And it's not a neutral zone trap, but they'll have 4 guys back at center ice.
And one pass is going to have to make its way through 4 Avalanche players. And that's a tough thing to do.
Here's Forsberg. Pop shot and a save by Hackett. Foot can't find the puck. Gedmarsh kept it in. Toward the goal. Forsberg missed on a tip-in try. And Tony Amonte, number 10. Note for Suter. Play to the corner. Walk. Off the glass. And it hit the glass. So we get a whistle. The Hawks have been a good comeback team all year long. As a matter of fact, they've been the best comeback team this year.
You look at the 3 clubs that were good coming back, John. It's interesting. Tampa Bay, big and strong. Chicago, big and strong. Philadelphia, big and strong. Maybe that's one of the things that does help if you have that size. You wear teams down, and you're able to use that size late in games.
Keane, Ozolinsh, and Lemieux have scored for the Avalanche. James Black, a late goal in the first period, the only scoring for Chicago.
Looks like Edmonton is going to tie up their series with the Dallas Stars up 4-0 now. So that's, that Edmonton club, they get on a roll. They're big, fast, and they can make things awful tough.
But that is going to be just the second victory by a road team in these 97 playoffs. Although we're very early, as you know. Chance trying to go around Lefebvre, now picked up near side by the Hawk player, Krivokrasov. Back to the corner. Good hit by Lefebvre. May have gotten the elbows up a bit on Chance, but no call. And the Hawks go back on the line, but Suter can't hold it in. And Suter tipped in by Moreau, and the Avalanche covered up. And down the ice it goes. Weinrich, nearly gave it to Jones. Kept in by the Avs. Joe Sakic. Here's Lemieux. The Avalanche still with a lot of jump in their skates. Lemieux. And forces way in front. Black trying to clear it. Hit Ozolinsh. And that shot hit something. A leap past the Black. He's got a break. Pulled down. No penalty call. I can't believe it. And Lemieux, that's offside. Black looked back at the referee. And there was no call.
I'm stunned. I thought I was looking at penalty shot.
Well, deja vu. Jeremy Roenick, game 4.
Didn't he look like... Now, is the referee saying that he really forced the issue by diving? Ozolinsh just had...
I think he did go down a bit premature. The stick of Ozolinsh around his waist. There goes his legs.
Yeah. So the referee's saying, if you dive like that, we're not going to make the call.
And again, Ozolinsh was the man who hauled down Roenick on the non-call in game 4 in overtime.
Black is the only goal of this hockey for the Blackhawks. only goal of the series so far. Road teams came in out after the first game that everyone had played. 8 games only had scored 11 goals. So being on the road so far has been very difficult.
6:30 to play in regulation time. The Avalanche with a 3-1 lead. Here's a shot by Probert, and that was off Waugh's shoulder and up into the crowd. Speaking of the crowd, Drew Goodman is somewhere down in the crowd. All right, John, thank you. You know, Patrick Waugh and Craig Billington have a very close relationship. And for Patrick Waugh, Craig Billington's an extra pair of eyes. They will get together at the morning skate the day after and talk about the night before. They'll talk about technique. They will talk about the upcoming opponent, how to play certain shooters. Patrick Waugh really values his relationship with Craig Billington, and that is not always the case between the #1 goaltender and the #2 goaltender, as I'm sure Peter McNabb and John Kelly know. Let's go back upstairs.
Yeah, all you have to do is go to these Blackhawks, where Eddie Belfour, the #1, dressed down. I mean, like, really gave it to Hackett, told him he couldn't dress near him. Belfour said, I'm the #1 guy. You're not going to play. I want to get dressed first before you get dressed. I mean, made life intolerable in the dressing room. And it's just a horror show when the goalies don't get along. I never was really in a situation where the goaltenders weren't at least good teammates. But I can only imagine that must just be awful.
Well, if a Game 5 is necessary, we will have it for you right here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain next Thursday. Our pregame show begins at 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. Game 5, if necessary, next Thursday here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Well, Mark Crawford has got to be happy with the team's effort tonight because it's been consistently focused. You know, they didn't score the goals in the spectacular fashion as they did in Game 1, but they've had their chances. They've got their 3 goals, and look at the Chicago, 5 chances. That's 12 so far in this series. I mean, they're just taking everything away. The Blackhawks, though, on the other side, I mean, they lost Jaminoff. That hurt. They lost Sutter and now Craven. I mean, they are just going to have to will this thing.
Here's a drive by Deadmarsh on goal, and Hackett makes the save. And Forsberg back at his own line. Here comes Kamensky. Again, celebrating his 31st birthday tonight is Valerie Kamensky. Picked off by Forsberg. Hackett, he stumbled and was out of the goal for a moment. And now the Hawks out to center. Kriva Krasov, one-on-one against Lefebvre. And that's the way you take a guy out on a one-on-one.
You know, it's interesting, John, the Avalanche have so many skilled players that their defensemen face the Forsberg, Sakic's, Deadmarshes of the world every day. Guys, the normal NHL players coming down on you aren't going to frighten you because you face the best in the world in practice all the time. So you get real good at handling one-on-ones, two-on-ones.
Under 5 to play here in the third period. Ricci trying to get to a loose puck. Rubbed off the puck by Suter. And Keith Carney always steady back on the Hawk line. For Cummins, now to Probert. Here comes Savard. That play is onside. Cummins. A rocket. And a save by Waugh. Rebound, and Suter put it high over the net. Carney trying to keep it in. He does. To Cummins now down low for Probert. In the slot. Cummins shot tipped away. And Adam Foote on the move. Great feed to center. Jones was in the clear for a moment, but was hooked a bit by Suter. And that allows Chelios to work it on to Cummins. Now Miller. Good pass into the captain Sakic for Jones. A backhander, and that missed the goal. Now Sakic in the corner. Here's Weinrich for the Blackhawks. Cummins has been on the ice for about 90 seconds, and he'll dump it to center. That plays onside. Savard, a shot, and Waugh out challenging. Stop Dennis Savard.
Could you look any calmer in goal than Patrick Waugh looks right now? I mean, that puck is rolling. That's usually a panic situation for a goaltender. He just steps out, cuts down the angle because he knows that Savard has got to shoot by that time. It just takes everything away.
And another good play by Foot to poke it to the far boards with 3:10 to go. And the Avs leading by a pair. Forsberg. And the Hawks back in. He was hooked down by Sikora, no call. And the sellout crowd of over 16,000 not happy with Dvorsky. But he's been consistent tonight. He's let some stuff go, but
he's had a good game. Yeah, he's had a very solid game. He knew this was going to be tough. He blew whistles early, so scrums didn't start. Called enough penalties when things needed to be called to keep everybody in knowledge that, you know, I'm on top. And I'm sure he told both of these clubs, listen, gentlemen, we're not going to have a game like last game.
The brawl in Detroit was officiated by Dvorsky. A shot by Keane from the boards, and Hackett will glove it. Time becoming a big factor now. 2:23 to go, and the home team up by 2.
Hey, you sure the guy who lives here isn't coming home?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Fighting it out in a tough piece-off battle.
That's him.
The crowd is witnessing a real clash of the...
Hey, he's the Fox Sports News guy?
Yeah, he's always away at games.
Doesn't look like he's been home in months.
They are
We'll get the rest tomorrow.
Bet you guys could use some munchies.
Fox Sports News. Our announcers go to the game to bring you better Lanche and Nuggets coverage on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Dodge Dakota is #1 in horsepower, #1 in torque, #1 in towing, even #1 in payload. In fact, Dodge Dakota is ranked #1 in more categories versus any other compact. But that should come as no surprise for the truck that's full of surprises. Dodge Dakota starts as low as $12,335. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Time now for our 1-800-COLLECT. Great save of the night.
Well, for Patrick Waugh, this is why Patrick Waugh is just so special. He's out, he challenges, but when he needs to, he has the ability to make the very athletic save.
1-800-COLLECT. It's the easy way to save.
I wonder if Patrick Waugh is a little jealous of Martin Brodeur. 2-goal game. Maybe Chicago pulls their goaltender. Patrick Waugh gets the chance to do what Martin Brodeur did last night with the Devils.
He's tried it a few times. Waugh has with a 2-goal lead.
That's when he'll do it. 1-goal lead, you can't afford to make a mistake with the puck. Try to get it off your defenseman.
The only other goalie to score a playoff goal was Ron Hextall, the Flyer goaltender, in 1989. 2 minutes to play here. Colorado leading 3-1. Now Carney, dangerous pass in front of his goal. And now the Hawks have pulled Hackett with 2 minutes to go. An empty net. Mike Keane to Ricci. The shot, and it bounces wide. So Hartsburg pulling out all the stops here, down by 2. Is going with 6 attackers. Miller into the zone. That's offside.
Well, we talked about the Brodeur goal, but here it happens. And this is the kind of play it can't happen on. A dump into the zone. Brodeur knows that at the empty net, and there's nobody. There's a 2-goal lead right in the middle. And Martin Brodeur, he had the best reaction afterwards. He was jumping up and down. You was never seen a more excited guy. Patrick Waugh is aware of everything that happens on the ice. I mean, he knows who the shooters are on the ice. He very seldom is fooled. For Hackett on the other side, John, good performance tonight, good comeback. When you consider the first 2 shots of the game went in, he's played solidly since then. The Avalanche, that's 1 goal in the last 31 shots. That was a goal by Lemieux where he had no possible chance.
The Avalanche have outshot the Blackhawks 33-23 and have scored 3. We'll join Fox Sports Rocky Mountain on Friday, April 25th for the Colorado Special Olympics Hall of Fame Gala at the Hyatt Regency downtown. John Denver, the special guest. For tickets, call 1-800-777-5767.
Eric with some of his fans.
Maybe it's for Pierre.
I think we'll leave it there.
You never know.
You never know. Making all those deals.
Yeah, he's made some great deals. But
we love him, I'll tell you. Right here, Edmonton late. It's got to be late in the third now. Over Dallas. That makes it interesting series. Phoenix and Anaheim still nothing. Can Phoenix control Korea Solani? They didn't have much luck in game one.
Already in these playoffs, 3 shutouts have been recorded. Could be 4 tonight. The record 16 back in '94.
The Avalanche, talk about their defense, but their offense. 6 periods now. They have 10 shots on goal. That means 10 shots in each of the first 6 periods. That's good, consistent offensive pressure on the Blackhawks.
Again, after this tilt, stay tuned for Fox Sports News. We'll have highlights from all the playoff games, an NFL draft preview, and Peter and I will have a post-game report from McNichols. 1:25 left. The Hawks, trailing by 2, have their goalie off for the extra attacker. Miller knocked down in the corner. The net is empty. Amani trying to find it. Now Amani in traffic. Forsberg with it. A pop at the empty net. He'll miss it by a good margin. And Chelios will touch up. Forsberg had a pretty good look at that one. And missed by, 10 feet.
You know, in a 1-goal game, I don't think Forsberg does that. Not that I think, I mean, he was going for the goal, but I don't think it was one of those selfish plays for a goal. I think it was he was tired. He knew everyone was tired. There was a little bit of a scramble, get the puck down, and maybe take a shot at it, end it right now. And again, that's the difference that Claude Lemieux goal made in the second period. That little cushion that just allows you to make plays that you wouldn't otherwise be able to make. If they're up by a goal, he maybe has to eat the puck, maybe another turnover down low, and suddenly you're scrambling.
Oh, Peter Forsberg, great athlete, plays tennis, a lot of golf. I asked him today, are you a good golfer? He said, no, I shoot, I don't know, 83, 84, I'm not good. 83, 84. Most guys would love that.
I was going to say, and and he's only going to get better at something. When he decides to do something well, forget it.
1 minute to go here. Here's Guzerov at the empty net, and that missed by about 5 feet. And another icing call. Guzerov, his last goal was on October 19th against Vancouver.
Well, the Goose, who last year led all playoff performers plus minus. You know, it doesn't. We watch Foot on the other side pound and pound away, but who's out there with them? Every single shift, every single game. Alexei Guzerov, I mean, he is just so smooth, so steady. It's almost frightening sometimes how calm he is with the puck.
If there was an award given to an underrated player, he would get it.
Absolutely. There he is right there. He's through last year. You don't win that kind of award when your club wins the Stanley Cup without being out there a lot and being a very, very good hockey player.
50 seconds to go. The Hawks get the face-off, but it's cleared away by Mike Keane. The Avalanche with a 2-goal lead. The Hawks have their goalie off. Suter maneuvers into the zone. A drive and a pass save. Amani the rebound and got across and made a save on that. The rebound cleared up the boards by Foot. Not out now. Foot again. Hit Daze with it. The Hawks scramble for it. Another shot by Amani, who was well wide, and Suter can't hold it in.
Well, the Avalanche couldn't get out of the zone, so finally Monte is the one that pushed it out. And John with a 2-goal lead down to 14, 12, 11, 10. It's going to be tough for the Blackhawks. Looks like we're going to Chicago with the Avs up by 2.
They're on their feet here in Denver. With a 2-love lead in the series, Patrick has allowed 1 goal in 2 games.
I guess the question for the fans here right now, as they're happy and full of confidence, is will we be back here at all in this round? The Avalanche hoping to wrap this up in Chicago.
Tonight's Discover card, payback, playback.
Yeah. Here it was. It'll be the Mike Keene hit on Sikora, typical of this game for the Avalanche. You see the Avalanche, 4 of them back as Sikora comes up the ice. Sikora just nailed by Keene. Big hit, big game. Mike Keene again with the first goal of the game.
Keene, Ozalinch, and Lemieux scoring. The Avalanche win it 3-1. Patrick stops 24-25.
The Avalanche go to Chicago, confident, healthy, ready for Game 3. The Blackhawks will find out how healthy they are.
The Avs win it tonight 3-1.